Hey there and welcome to my channel. I'm Brandon and I like to learn new things and help people with their techniques as well as share some of my own that I developed in my foray into lasers. I've owned a few lasers along the way and right now I'm using my xTool S1 pretty much exclusively. I've owned it for about 8 or 9 months now and I've already delved into some really fascinating customizations with it. Recently, I added a Glowforge Aura to my collection, which arrived just a few weeks ago. In today's video, I'm going to do a comparison between the xTool S1 and the Glowforge Aura, comparing things like speed, finish quality, my experience with the software, their capabilities, safety features, expandability, and community support. I'll also do a quick tutorial on how to operate the machine, exploring their distinctive features and advantages. Let's first start by examining both products. Both are ready straight out of the box with little to no assembly. Let's go take a look.
The Glowforge Aura is primarily constructed from plastic, including the sliding components on the side of the tray that open up for the pass-through. It's an attractive machine that has clean and soft lines. In contrast to the plastic, the xTool S1 is made from aerospace aluminum. Its strong, crisp lines give the feeling of machinery and industry. While I never felt that the Aura was going to fall apart, as it's built fairly well and I'd give it an edge in aesthetic, the S1 feels more substantial and secure, giving it a greater strength and durability score. I'd give the S1 the edge in those particular categories. When you compare the work areas, there's a significant difference in the width of the available work area. The S1 has a width of 19.6 inches and 13 inches depth. So, 19.6 by 13 inches is the space that you have to work with for your project. Whereas the Aura has a 12 by 12 inch work area. So it's a lot smaller. The size difference is pretty substantial, and the Aura seems to be directed kind of in the small craft project realm, whereas the S1 can be used for smaller crafts, or it can be used for larger pieces that you might need that would fit in that workspace. The Aura is something that I definitely would not use in a business situation, whereas the S1 can be and is used daily in that realm. As far as the laser modules go, this is another area where the S1 really excels over the Aura. The Aura comes with a single 6-watt module, whereas the S1 currently has 4 options. You have 3 blue diodes coming in at 10, 20, and 40 watts, and then a 2-watt IR module for those materials that the blue diode just can't touch as well. This gives the S1 an advantage in expandability over the Aura. For module installation, while the S1's modules are more robust and substantial, they require 2 threaded bolts to be screwed in to hold the weight of the module to the carriage. Certainly this is how they get more power, so it's a small trade-off, but the Aura literally has a module that you set on top of the carriage and it's locked into place with a few small magnets. It holds well for its limited speed, so for ease of installation, I'd have to go with the Aura, even though the S1's not that difficult to install the modules on. When we visit the safety features of the machines, both machines are classified as Class 1 lasers, which means that they are fully enclosed to protect you from an active beam, and as long as you utilize those machines in the ways that they've been intended to be used, you're safe to use them without safety glasses. Though if you're using the pass-through on either of the machines, you definitely will still want to wear them. The S1 excels past the Aura here once you get past the classification rating though, as the 20 and 40 watt machines come with the fire safety kit included with them that flushes the cabin with CO2 in the case of a fire. They launched this kit with the machine at the end of last year in 2023. One area I'd like to see an improvement here is an adapter to use readily available refillable CO2 canisters, even if that means that the canister's outside of the kit and is fed in with a hose. As far as I'm aware, xTool is the only brand to offer a fire safety set in the market. If you know of any others, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be sure to check those out. The last safety thing that I want to cover is something that blew me away. The Aura doesn't have a power button or an e-stop. If you want to shut it off, you have to cut the power off at the source by unplugging it or turning off a power strip, or you have to wait 30 minutes of inactivity for it to shut off automatically. I certainly was not impressed by that. The S1 has both a rocker switch for the power on the back as well as an e-stop on the side of the machine to shut the machine off in any case of an emergency. The safety is just simply better with the S1. Okay, so I'm going to run several comparison projects just to make sure we get a fair comparison between the two machines. I'm going to cut to some video of the machines in operation so you can see them work side by side. Then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the results when we're done. For the S1, the software is called the xTool Creative Suite. It's installed locally on your computer. It's available for Windows and Mac machines as well as mobile versions for iOS or Android devices. The Glowforge products use an online-only software that has limited functionality for the free version, and for the good features that most people are likely going to want to use, you have to shell out $50 a month or pay an annual fee of $239. So if you don't have a good broadband connection or don't want to be hit with an additional $240 after spending over $1,000 or more on your machine, this knocks the Glowforge brand completely out of your options. Those who know me know that even as a software developer, I disdain software as a service if it's forced on the users. Fortunately, you can do all of your design work outside of the software, so there's minimal premium functionality that I'd be missing, but most users will look at the price and opt for another option. In XCS, we start off using the autofocus function, which measures the thickness of the material for you. The plunger-style touch sensor may seem a little simple at first, but the fact that it is simple mechanically means that it can provide a lot more functionality. This allows it to do things like the curved surface feature, and that simply isn't possible in the Aura. After measuring the material thickness to ensure the module height is placed within the focal distance, you can then set the material inside the software and mark out your material area to display within the software. It uses a pinpoint method that allows you to draw shapes out in the workspace that align with the work area inside the cabin. The Aura uses a camera to measure the height as well as align your projects to the material. This certainly is an appealing feature of the machine for many users, and if you're interested in a machine with a camera from xTool, you can take a look at their M-Series diode or their P-Series CO2 machines. You might be wondering how accurate the pinpoint system is on the S1. Coming from the M1 that has a camera to the S1 utilizing the pinpoint system, I much prefer the latter. Cameras introduce some shifting from the actual location of the material due to their need to use wide-angle lenses for such a small area. The pinpoint system allows me to squeeze every last bit of material out for use because the layout is exactly where I tell it is. I can align the projects in XCS accordingly. Integrated into both softwares are recommended settings, and at the end of last year, I had given them a rough tie. However, after xTool introduced their material library that has over 400 tested materials on their website, as well as integrating that into the software, XCS blows the Glowforge software out of the water. Having the test grids that were run on a chosen material with pictures of the results and point-and-click selection of the results for choosing what you want your result to look like. This will give you some settings that will work with xTools as well as other brands of materials with little to no modification from what you find in the library. The Glowforge software has some material selection, but initially the users are only presented with 3 engraving options: draft, which is a low quality engraving; standard definition, which is 405 lines per inch; and high definition, which is twice that at 810 lines per inch. These settings also have a set speed and power setting, so that might not actually be the best for the results you're looking for. I wasn't able to find a test grid functionality within the software, so you would have to build one manually to run it. XCS has a whole tool for doing test grids that you can find the perfect setting for your material if you aren't getting the results you need from the material library settings. Okay, the projects are finished, so let's take a look. Initially, I was only going to do a single simple comparison to keep the length of the video down. However, I found that with how long the work was taking on the Aura due to its much slower speeds, I ran several comparisons on the S1 in varying settings while I waited for the Aura to finish. Alright, for accessories, xTool's created many of them to make your creations that much more awesome. One of the newest is the screen printer. You can make artwork, clothing, bags, and a lot of other stuff. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I learned silkscreen printing. What would take days to make then now takes a few hours. So you laser engrave the screens with any xTool laser, set your object up like a shirt onto the accessory, and then put the stencil frame on, spread the ink, and transfer the design onto the shirt or whatever you're using. They have single color and multicolor options for the silkscreen printer. The S1 bundle also comes with the RA2 Pro, which is a rotary attachment that allows you to do tumblers and other cylindrical things, rings, all manner of non-flat objects. The Aura simply wouldn't have enough room for a rotary attachment. Both the 6-watt Aura and the 10-watt S1 module cut roughly 1/4 inch material thickness if you need to do any cutting, but the Aura can only achieve 3/4 inch of workable depth for engraving if you remove the cutting tray. That gets reduced to 3/16 inch if you're using the pass-through, whereas the 10-watt S1 can utilize the full depth of the machine for engraving. And if you have the riser with your bundle, that adds an additional available depth for larger items. To grasp the difference in the size of the work areas, I could probably fit the Aura inside the S1. I might not be able to close the lid, but I would be surprised if I couldn't. As a company that's been around for a while, xTool has an active S1 Facebook group with over 10,000 members who are quick to respond to any laser-related questions or issues that members have, as well as to provide help. They have a myriad of user-run groups that augment this community extensively. Glowforge doesn't have any officially established support group within Facebook, so customers will have to email support for help. Both companies do have support communities located on their websites, though by and large, the Facebook group seems to be more active in terms of active users and frequency of response. Okay, so the last topic that I want to discuss is going to be price. I mentioned the price of the Aura loosely earlier when I was talking about the software subscription. Both machines, the 6-watt Aura and the 10-watt S1, price in at $11.99. The difference is what's included with each one of the machines. The Aura came with a single piece of wood, and the S1 came with a full material package, an air assist, a honeycomb, and a rotary attachment. For the value, the 10-watt S1 is just by and far a better deal. And now for the conclusion. I'm sure that it's been pretty clear throughout the video, but I prefer the S1. For a similar price, the S1 offered a larger working format, faster speeds, 3 other modules for upgrade if you start with a single 10-watt module, allowing you to upgrade later if you want or need to, and a wide range of accessories that significantly expands the versatility of the machine. The Aura came with none of that. I'd appreciate it if you would like and comment on the video with your own input, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with my assessment. If you want to see all of the videos I put out or are viewing this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. If you're watching this on my Facebook or Instagram feeds, you can follow me there. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Now get out there and laser some things.